Welcome, foolish mortals.
Time to be turning around. If only you could.
Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hey, Henry, what's holding you up? Let's get on with the show. We can't hang around here all day.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
There's no turning back now.
This is the greatest show!
It's coming on the lights. With the runaways are running tonight. Impossible comes true. It's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
Now it's time for the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast with your hosts, Michael Hurley and Gary Aruda.
This is the greatest show.
That's right. This is the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast, episode number 557, recorded from the D. Fauntleroy Studios in Kent County, Rhode Island, and sunny Southwest Florida. I'm your host, Gary, joined as always by my co-host and my cousin Mike down in Florida. How you doing today, Michael?
Fantastic.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Oh, I had a great one.
How was it at the club?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah?
I didn't send you guys pictures. I did take pictures, but
Oh.
I did a lot of shrimp cocktail.
I was going to say, anything new or different this year, or it's kind of like...
No, pretty much the same. You do a ton of shrimp cocktail, ton of oysters. They had a nice caprese salad. Then I did some turkey with brown gravy, mashed potatoes with brown gravy, and then I literally had 3 monster cuts of the prime rib.
Is it crowded there?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And you played golf that morning too, right?
I played in the John Reese game.
Oh. Now did he bring his own BYO bloodies? Is that what that was all about?
He makes them at home, pards.
And
he said they marinated all night. These things, I'm not a day drinker.
Yeah.
These things were so good. How do you want it? Spicy? Yep. He made this thing, and I was like, all right. I take a sip. I'm like, oh boy, is this good?
That's good.
So I drank about half of it. He goes, "You want me to top it off before we head out?" I'm like, "Yes, please." So he finished. He topped me off, and they were good.
That's trouble. That's like a good base too, because that's like breakfast. You're getting all your essential vitamins and minerals.
You really are. I was telling Susie that place is so messed up because a lot of high end clubs, you can't be doing that crap.
Oh, you're probably not supposed to be doing it there either.
Well, I mean, if the cops pulled up, like, where's your if they wanted to, but they don't care there. Like I told her, doesn't Sarah, you've been there enough. Isn't it almost like Animal House? It's kind of like a fraternity.
A little bit. Because you know why?
Insane.
Because it's only golf. There's nothing else to do. There's no tennis. There's no pool. There's nothing. It's just golf. It's
just a golf course.
So you get the degenerates out there.
But like you're not pulling that off at like a high end, like Newport Country Club. You're not you don't have a Bloody Mary bar outside of the cart barn, do you?
Probably not, and probably not because they probably would frown upon that. You'd get a letter, probably.
You get a letter, but you would partake, wouldn't you? You'd have a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, but it's like I don't think they want you like stuffing like Michelob Ultras in your bag and pulling them out.
No, not like a public course. No, they don't want you showing up in coolers. Like you have to buy their product, but they don't have the product at 7:30 because the bar doesn't open till 11. So
right, I'm just saying.
I think it's a one-off because it was a holiday.
I'm gonna say they probably let it go. If he was doing that every Saturday and Sunday, he might get a letter for that.
Did you like that? Were you laughing at that picture?
That's funny.
Yes, the Bloody Mary bar. It's so stupid, isn't it?
It's very dumb. Did you get all your Christmas stuff up at the house? I see the tree in the corner over there.
Everything's up. That is my Disney tree. It's got all of my Christmas Disney Christmas ornaments.
That's
got
nice.
The gingerbread house from the Grand Floridian. I've got my resorts. I've got a few resorts that I'm looking to buy. As I told you and Angry New Phil Jr. in our group chat the other night.
Now, do you have like You have your very Merry Christmas party little ornament on there.
I do have that. Yep, I have that one. Yep.
Yeah, I have a lot of ornaments. I have a French Quarter.
I don't know if I ever got the. No, I don't recollect
I have an
seeing
Old
it.
Key West from when we
Yeah,
stayed
I've got
there.
an Old Key West. Yep, I've got that big Saratoga.
I have a big Saratoga
one in the car.
Yep, I have that one. I have an Animal Kingdom Mickey. I have. I don't have a Pop Century. I need to get one from old school style.
I do have the same Mickey that you have because they do. I have I think Mickey's for Wilderness Lodge and Animal Kingdom.
They didn't have any this summer when I was there. Wilderness Lodge and Beach Club are both out of Christmas ornaments when I was there.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was a bummer. I was not happy about that. But anyway, I digress. Should we get into the
yeah, we've got
of this week's episode?
Yeah, what are we talking about? Rides?
No. Oh, no, we're not talking. You got to throw those, scrap those notes.
Right, get rid of those notes.
We are talking under the radar restaurants at Walt Disney World.
Yeah,
not necessarily unrated. These could be rated properly, but they're still under the radar.
Yes.
So these are ones that people just don't think about. They don't go to. They're probably generally pretty easy to get a reservation. They're not bandied about. They're not talked about as much, and I think they're ones that should be on your short list for any 2025 or beyond trips coming up.
Yep.
I think we're going to get into some that not a lot of people think about, and right off the bat, I'm going to say the locations of mine are definitely under the radar, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same for you.
Oh, okay.
Like, people don't plan around going to these places, and I think that's why some of these restaurants can be pretty solid and don't get talked about, is just because of where they are. But would you like to start off with your number 5, sir?
I will start off as my number 5. Now, this is a popular place to visit over at the Polynesian, and it's Kona Cafe.
Ooh, okay.
But it's Kona Cafe for lunch and dinner. That is a place that nobody goes to. You can walk up and get seated, and their lunch and dinner is phenomenal. Everybody
you really like it.
For the breakfast. I love their pot sticker is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's one of your favorite appetizers. You talk about that all the time.
It is so good. It's a crispy pork vegetable pot sticker. That's all it is.
It's one giant one too.
It's
right?
one giant one. Yeah, it's very it's splittable for Kristen and I. It is a perfect appetizer. I also we'll get that, and then I'll get the glazed chicken wings, and they are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. They got bao buns. They've got sushi. I mean, they've got bowls. I've gotten the bowls before.
Oh, the udon or the ramen
bowl? Yeah, I've gotten the ramen bowls. I mean, it's just it's a great place for lunch and dinner.
You're making me hungry now. That's a good one. Yeah, because you're right. A lot of people talk about it for breakfast. As a matter of fact, if you listen to our other show, DVC, Addicted to DVC, coming out later this week, you can hear a little bit about the Kona breakfast in our episode.
Yeah,
that we talk about. But lunch and dinner, you're right. It's much more under the radar. It's easier to get a reservation. Breakfast is hard to get a reservation.
It is. Yeah, it certainly is.
And people definitely know Kona. Like, if you talk to Disney people about Kona, everyone's going to say, oh, I love their breakfast for the most part. But yeah, again, I'm guilty of it. I haven't been for lunch or dinner. It's on my list, but I haven't done it yet. My number 5, again, like I said, this is one where you probably aren't going to make a special trip for it, but I went there once. I was very happy with it. And it had one of the best single items I've ever had at a Disney restaurant. And I am at the Turf Club. Turf Club Bar and Grill at Saratoga. And that slow roasted prime rib was so good. That was the best prime rib I've ever had in my life.
Are you kidding me?
It was so good. I'm not a huge, like, I don't order prime rib a lot.
But you know, when you get it at a restaurant, sometimes it's good, isn't it?
It was so good. Like, you're used to getting at, like, a wedding, and it's hit or miss the kinda cut you get.
But talk to me. Was this thing was it just roasted and just
It was
crunchy on the outer?
perfect. Had the perfect crust. It was the perfect color red. It wasn't, like, slightly overcooked. They weren't drowning it in the au jus. It was, like, on the side to dip it in. There's actually a red wine reduction as well that came with this, so it was a little different of a dipping sauce. The fat was, like, perfectly rendered and marbled, and it wasn't, like, big chunks of fat where you're, like, chewing on it like a Bazooka Joe bubble gum. It was perfect. Came with mashed potatoes and vegetables, perfect sides for it. I had their onion soup. It was good. It wasn't as good as Steakhouse 71's onion soup, but it was good. It wasn't a bad. I would say get the onion soup. They have a charcuterie for $23, cheeses, cured meats, house-made accompaniments. The calamari for $18. Like, you're not getting fried calamari too many places at Disney. Not at single credit restaurants. I know Narcoossee has it, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of too many other places that have like a fried, like a Rhode Island style with the pepperoncinis and the aioli.
Yeah, right.
I didn't have this, but they have a sweet and spicy Brussels sprouts, which I love Brussels sprouts. A grilled pork chop, pappardelle scallop pasta, caramelized scallops with asparagus and truffle sauce over a pasta. Sounds fantastic. The Turf Club burger, if you're in the mood for something light, $23. Signature blend patty, crisp pork belly, New York white cheddar, and onion rings. They have a fried chicken, lemon pepper salmon, a New York strip. Just a solid menu.
Yep.
And talk about not needing a reservation. They basically are trying to drag you into that place.
Yeah, I went years ago with Kristen. This was back in the day. It might have been pre-annual passes, and I just needed to get up to property every once in a while, and we went up there for dinner, and I thought it was excellent. This place gets its rear end handed to it
Zero
all the time, and when we went, it was excellent. I think they have a great menu. I love the restaurant inside. It's just a classic. It's kind of like an old school steakhouse.
Yes, I agree with that.
It just has that look. It's just very simple. It's not elegant, but it's a nice restaurant.
I think they need to have a lunch would be great if they had like a simpler like soup and salad and sandwich lunch menu there.
Yeah, when they get the golfers off the golf course.
You could get like a turkey club, you could get some like chicken noodle soup, wedge salad, stuff like that.
Yep.
Like I think they could really up it, but obviously they don't have the clientele for it, or they don't think they'll have the demand for it. But it could be a great little lunch spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's underutilized.
But I don't think you'd be disappointed if you checked out the Turf Club.
Nope, I'm a fan.
What's your number 4?
Mine is Spice Road Table over at Epcot.
I was wondering if this was going to be on your list because you've said good things about this a few times.
Yeah, we've been over there. We've been Chris and I once, and I was over there by myself when I stayed with your sister years ago after I played a round of golf over at the Magnolia. But they've just got so many nice small plates. Their spicy shrimp for $14 is just to die for. It's so good. They used to have calamari. I don't see that on the menu, but they change these menus.
Yeah, they change them. Now this place is so good. You ate off somebody else's plate there.
You are exactly right. I sat next to a couple, and they were staying at a resort that did not have a refrigerator or microwave. And they asked me if I wanted their sliders, and I kind of looked to my right, looked to my left, and I said, "Yeah, I'll take them." They hadn't been touched. It was one of those leave it out the door of 1322. Our buddy Ken Cabot would. I shouldn't have said that. He's going to listen to this. He's going to destroy me, isn't he?
Well, no, because they didn't leave it on the table and like take a picture and put it on Facebook saying like there's some sliders at Spice Road Table if anybody wants them before the waitress clears them.
Now, let me ask you a question. Would you have taken them, or are you too proud?
Who am I with?
You're by yourself. I was by myself.
Yeah, I would have probably taken them.
Okay.
You know what? I would have put it this way. I would have wanted to take them, and I probably wouldn't have. You know what I mean?
They were good.
Now, how long were you talking to these people?
Oh, pretty much like the entire day because it was
Okay.
she was a Disney nerd and her boyfriend had never been, so it was like they came from New York. It was
Oh,
his
gotcha.
first trip, so we pretty much talked like throughout the whole because we were seated at the same time and we just talked the whole time. And then it was like, oh, by the, we didn't even touch these, but we're not. I'm like, yeah. I'll take them.
Because you wanted to say no.
You
Like,
have to say no.
You wanted
Well,
to say
just
no,
a
like
human
to be
being would say no.
appropriate. Yeah.
That's But
Well,
as
you-
we all know, I'm not appropriate.
Yes. So I'm sorry I interrupted you though. You were talking about some of the other things on the menu there.
I mean, they've got hummus fries. I'm not a huge
Mhm.
hummus fan, but it's just a good. It's a great place for just the small plates.
Yeah.
You got a dessert platter. Very
I've never
overlooked.
been.
Nobody is ever in there. I'm surprised that they haven't revamped this place.
No, the only time they're sold out is like when they're available for like the candlelight processional dining package. because
Yeah,
then people are
exactly.
like, well, I guess I have to go somewhere if I want to get tickets to see Gary Sinise.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you want me to move on to my number
Yeah,
4?
Yeah.
I am at Disney Springs,
Oh, interesting.
and again, people like Disney Springs, and there's some places that people will go to Disney Springs for, and this is not one of them. But I think it's so solid, and it scratches an itch for me. It's classy, it's upscale, the prices aren't bad. It's like a perfect date night. You can still take the kids, and I'm talking about Morimoto Asia. It's one of those places that it's huge. It looks grand and fantastic, and I don't ever hear about anyone going there.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I went there when it first opened, and it was busy, and the Iron Chef himself was there, Morimoto, and he I took a picture with him, but I ended up sitting at the bar because there were no tables available. You can go baller at this place and spend a ton of money.
Oh,
but
they got that Peking duck. They've got a lot of high end.
But they have like sushi, but then they
Uh-huh.
have like sushi towers for $240 and stuff like that. But they also have like small plates, regular entrees anywhere from like 18 to 30 up to, like you said, the Peking duck is $79.
Mm-hmm.
But you could get noodles and rice, $29 for some noodles, duck ramen for $20. That sounds fantastic. So it's kind of like a la carte family style. Like you get a few different things to share. But I mean, I love Asian fusion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so good. Like even those dirty ribs from the quick service there, those are some of the best ribs I've ever
I've
had.
had those. They're phenomenal.
So I can only imagine. Like I think I had some sushi when I went. Sorry, hitting the microphone there. This was a while ago. I had some sushi, and then I had like a kung pao chicken type
What is
of
the
dish.
kung pao chicken?
That's the one that has like the chicken and vegetables, and it's served with noodles, and it has like the peanuts on there and like a spicy garlic sauce.
Okay.
It was very good. I don't know if it's even on the menu anymore. That was so long ago, but yeah, I mean they have the small plates you could try if you want to split a bunch of stuff with somebody. They have Wagyu beef, which doesn't even have a price on the menu because it's so expensive. It's probably
That's always concerning, isn't it?
yeah, but I mean, if you're ordering Wagyu, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, and no one talks about it, and I think it's super solid. It's a great.
That's a great choice. I totally overlooked that one.
And
That's
they
always
also
been on my list of places to go, and I just never think to go there.
They also have a weekend brunch menu Saturday and Sunday starting at noon with small plates, and everything's like $10 to $14.
Hmm.
And then some rolls, like some of the sushi is a little more, but like the appetizers are cheaper. So
Yep.
it's interesting. You see the brunch stuff as well. Then they have regular lunch menu. So either lunch or dinner wouldn't be a bad choice.
I mean, this is right up your alley. You love Asian cuisine, don't
I
you?
really do. Yeah. No, I definitely do. So that's
Like,
one that
especially good Asian food.
Well, that's the thing. How often do you get like a fancy
Yeah,
Chinese or
they're not
Japanese
in
restaurant? Not me.
every local city where we live.
Right.
Unless you go into a big city, like I'm sure Boston and Tampa
Even Providence has
have
some
'em.
like good ones, but I don't ever think to go to one as like a sit down. I'm always doing takeout. Like
Right.
just Chinese takeout quick or even Thai food takeout. But like a place like this for a date night and like you've seen that building, it's gorgeous. It's like
Oh, it's
all
beautiful.
glass. Yeah.
It's a pretty building, yeah.
They have that giant like chandelier that looks like rainfall almost coming
Yeah.
down from the third story down. It's beautiful. So that was my number 4. What do you have for your number
So
3?
my number 3 is one of the stepchildren over at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. It's Citricos.
Ooh.
I think this place is overlooked. It's not underrated. People still go to it, but everybody thinks of Narcoossee's before they think of Citricos. And I'll tell you what, Narcoossee's is still one of my favorite restaurants on Disney property, but every time I go to Citricos, I'm like, this place is so good. And nobody ever thinks to go here. Cali Grill, Narcoossee's, and it's never Citricos.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like when people think of like date night signature restaurants, everyone says, "Oh, California Grill is always first, right?" That's always the first choice everyone says. Then it comes down to Narcoossee, Jico is always
Yeah.
up there on the list. But yeah, Citricos is definitely under the radar. And like you said, it's not poorly rated. It's not an underrated restaurant. People that go always review it quite well. But it's not thought of. It's way easier reservation to get than Narcoossee. That's for
It is.
sure.
And I like Narcoossee's. I like the steak chops and seafood. But the Mediterranean flair that they have at Citricos is just fantastic. And I remember you said you went there on your honeymoon.
Yes.
And you said it was good. But then again, it's a place that you've never went back to.
No. Although I haven't gone back to like any of the signatures that we went.
That's
So
true.
that's kind of a different story.
I think I had one of the best soups I've ever had at Citrico. It's a great restaurant. It's beautiful on that second floor, overlooking the courtyard at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, it's a nice restaurant.
And
for
they
sure.
they redid it to like Mary Poppins theming, but it's not over the top. It's a great restaurant.
I can't argue with that one. Definitely won't argue with that one. Speaking of signatures, my number 3
Yeah.
is a signature.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's pretty highly rated, but it's not talked about that much. Not as much as I think it should. I think it maybe is the second best in-park restaurant that I've been to.
Second best in-park restaurant that you've been to
At Disney World.
at Disney World. So I'm trying to think what the first best signature would be, because Epcot really doesn't have other than Le Cellier. Magic Kingdom doesn't.
Well, let me put it this way. It might be the best one I've been to. I'm thinking second best overall. It's definitely the best signature.
Yeah, I know what
misspoke
you're
when I said
talking about. It's over at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, we're talking about the Brown Derby.
It's fantastic.
It's a great restaurant. For a signature, the prices are not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say maybe Le Cellier. I haven't been there when it's been a signature. Could be like a better. People really like that one. That's definitely not under the radar. And then Tiffin's is another great signature in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
But Brown Derby, I think because it's older, it's been there forever. Nothing really changes, which is good and bad. Like,
Yeah.
I could see why people would kind of be like, it's the same old, but I don't know. They have stuff that's good and they serve it well. Like that Cobb salad is always going to be good there.
That place is banging. That thing is so good.
But you look at like the appetizers, you get a crispy olive bread with fried capers and a crab sauce on it for $18. Charcuterie board, $23. Escargot, $19. Prosciutto croquettes for $15. Shrimp cocktail, like that's not bad. Like signature restaurant, those appetizer prices are not bad.
Not at all.
Even the entrees, if you want to get the Cobb salad as an entree, it's only $28, $35 if you want it with chicken. Pan roasted halibut, $51. Lamb shank for $45. Shepherd's pie, which is plant-based, for $33. Root beer brined pork for $43. Chorizo stuffed free-range chicken with seared gnocchi, piquillo pepper, confit onion, crisp apple hard cider demi-glaze for $40. That sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Filet mignon for $52. Grilled Ora King salmon with black rice, citrus butter, sugar snap peas, and a crab bisque for $48. You can get the enhancements, shrimp mac and cheese, sweet potato souffle, or crispy haricot vert for $10.
Okay.
The desserts, they're just like classic orange hazelnut cake, grapefruit cake, poached pears with panna cotta, decadent chocolate.
So good.
Yeah, people like that. I've
had it. It's amazing.
I mean, it's just a solid signature. You know what you're getting. You're going to get really good service. It's a really cool atmosphere. You feel like you're stepping back in time when you go in there.
You
it's
really
fun.
do. You really do. It's old school Hollywood studios. You feel like you're in Hollywood.
Yes.
You really do.
And if you want just a little taste of it, do the lounge. Get an appetizer, like the outside area of the Brown Derby Lounge.
Yeah.
Where they have that bar, order an appetizer, sit there for a little bit. But the actual Brown Derby, it's just such a cool experience. Like we talk about a lot of times, we're talking about like 50s prime time. It's like, oh, it makes you feel like that old school Disney experience, or even the sci-fi drive-in. But in the Brown Derby, you get those same feelings, but you're getting really good food at the same time.
Yep.
Like when we went there, when you met us there.
Yeah, when we stayed on at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and I had that
minutes after
that
work,
fish.
right?
It was like the fish of the day. I don't even remember what it was. It was so good. That was one of the best things I've had at Disney, period. It was so good. The fish was fresh. It was stuffed. It was fantastic. I love it there. I'd go back there again.
I love that. I love that restaurant.
It's a great one. What's your next one on the list, Parts?
So my number 2 is Ale and Compass.
Okay, interesting.
I think it, especially for like lunch and dinner, it is extremely overlooked. Another place that you can easily get a reservation. Like I'm looking at these starters: oven roasted mussels, chorizo, onion, corn, white wine butter sauce. How simple is that?
I love mussels.
Clams casino, bacon, peppers, white wine, herb butter, brioche. Yep, you dip the brioche into the sauce. Wedge salad, main plates. They've got some. Got a flat iron. What do they have here? Red wine, braised flat iron steak, New York strip, pappardelle pasta. You can't go wrong with that.
Now, this is a place that's not only overlooked, which I agree with you, but I feel like it's taken a long time to kind of find its identity.
Yeah, it's kind of going back and forth. I forget what was it called a few years ago.
Oh, I don't remember anymore. But
yeah,
even before they changed it to the Ale and Compass, it was like the menus changed a lot. It was sandwiches.
Yeah, it's constantly trying to like re-engineer.
Yeah. I remember that breakfast we had there, though. That was so good.
It was fantastic. And like another $5 and it turned into a buffet where you got a charcuterie. Like not necessarily a charcuterie, but you get some ham and different cheeses. And
they had all different pastries and stuff.
Different pastries. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. I think that's a great deal for breakfast.
Oh, it's a great deal. But again, it's one of those places when you're walking through the yacht club, there's never anybody in there.
No. Nope. And it's actually, it's one of, not only is it under the radar, I think it's also underrated because it doesn't get rated very highly either.
Yeah, which is surprising because we've been there a number of times and it's always been good.
Yeah. No, not a bad choice. I haven't been there for dinner, so I can't really speak on that, but the breakfast was solid.
The breakfast was
I
fantastic.
mean, I had that shrimp and grits, which was enormous portion.
Yeah, because you and I obviously are pretty good eaters, and you had trouble taking that down, or I think you might have even.
I think I had some leftovers.
Yeah, I think you did.
And I think like the shrimp and grits was like $22, and for like 26 you got the buffet with it.
Right. Yeah, it was just a few dollars more.
So like we had pastries. I think there was like gabagool and prosciutto and salami and cheese and oatmeal and yogurt, and I think they even had like biscuits and gravy on the buffet.
Yeah, yeah.
It was fantastic. So yeah, if you want to like lump that in with that breakfast as well for under the radar, definitely check it out, especially if you're staying in that area. Take a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe skip the character breakfast over at the beach club.
Right.
Cape May.
My number 2 will probably come as no surprise, and I think even though it's pretty popular, I think it's still under the radar for how good it is. I'm going back over to Disney Springs. This is one of my favorites. I talk about it a lot. I'm thinking Boathouse. I still think as good as it is, I don't think it gets talked about enough. People that go there love it, but I don't think a lot of people think about it. It's always Art Smith. It's always Raglan Road. It's always, even I see more people talking about like Enzo's than Boathouse sometimes. And I think it's just a solid choice.
Yeah, I like that restaurant.
I mean, how many
really
people
like to go there for dinner?
How many people go just to have dinner there? Not many.
No, that's more of a brunch and afternoon place. You're right.
Right. But
Does
it's a
that
great
oyster bar mess you up when you first walk in?
Yeah, and that boat, like it looks like a half of a boat, and it's just all the ice, and you see everything there. Yeah, it's
Now,
fantastic.
could you not sit up there for like hours and just like watch a college football game
Oh, you probably
and
spend
eat
a
3
mortgage
dozen
payment
oysters? Yeah.
on it, but yeah, I could do that. Oysters on the half shell, $4.50 a piece. Shrimp, $5 each on the raw bar. Jumbo lump crab and avocado, $19.50. Yellowfin tuna poke, $19.75. That's just the raw bar. You already spent like, because you're not getting 2 oysters.
No.
Like maybe 2 dozen oysters.
No, that's like one of those places like where if we were to spend an entire afternoon, just the two of us, if they had TVs in there,
Yeah.
we could easily spend $2.50 a piece, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Couple
Easily.
beers and some oysters on the half shell. That's the dangerous thing with oysters is they are so easy to eat. Like if you order a dozen of them, that takes you like 3 minutes to eat them.
They're so good though. If they're good and cold and fresh.
Yes.
Oh, there's nothing. Oh, I love oysters.
But the menu's not crazy. Like you can spend some money on stuff.
Right.
Like the steaks, obviously, can get
You know
up
what it
there.
reminds me of? Up in your neck of the woods is Hemingway's.
Okay.
One of my favorite restaurants in Rhode Island. I mean, that Hemingway's is amazing.
But I mean, listen to the menu here. We have sea and shore, so you could get like a roast chicken breast with carrots and broccolini, $26. Shrimp and andouille mac and cheese, $26. Steamed Red King crab, an 8-ounce cut with asparagus and drawn butter, $72. So you're getting crab and an 8-ounce steak for $72. Maine lobster tail, $65. They have their appetizers, obviously, calamari, fried clam strips for $18, all sorts of stuff. But then just like the sandwiches, they have a burger for $19.50, grilled fresh mahi sandwich for $25, a Yacht Club roast turkey, cucumber, bacon, lettuce, tomato, avocado, chipotle, honey mayo, Swiss cheese, and multigrain bread for $23.
Now you said you had the burger, right?
So they used to have the Gibson's like best burger. It was different than this one, and it was my favorite burger at Disney.
Right? Yeah, you said that.
This is just a classic burger. It's just a cheeseburger with tomato and onion and lettuce. 1950, still good. This one used to come with like a cherry pepper and like bacon jam on it and stuff. It was really good. But even the steaks, like you can get New York strip steak with fries for $38.
That's a great deal, isn't it?
Steak frites for 38. Yep. I mean, obviously, like the regular New York strip is 63, filet mignon 69, T-bone 67. Sides to share: baked potato, mac and cheese, baby carrots and broccolini, grilled asparagus, desserts. Just a good, like, anywhere from sandwiches to like a fancy steak with a lobster tail. It's all at your fingertips there.
No, yep, I agree.
So I think it's fantastic. What is your number one?
My number one is in a theme park.
Oh.
And it is one of my favorite signatures. And it's Tiffin's.
Okay.
This is another place that does not get any love.
I agree with that.
You've never been, correct?
I have not. I've only been to Nomad
You have
Lounge.
kids, so you don't do signatures, I would assume.
Yeah, not really.
Actually, kids create your own entrees. Grilled steak. $19 expensive for a grilled steak?
No, for kids menu. I would expect
with a choice of 2 selections. You got low-fat milk. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I didn't think $19 for a steak is too bad, but
it's small. Like we got that at Steakhouse 71. I think it was around that price on the kids menu, and it was a small piece of steak, but the girls didn't even like it. I don't know. Sometimes they like steak, but they weren't in the mood for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. They've got. I've had the short rib was amazing. They've got a surf and turf, Szechuan noodles, which I like.
Yeah.
Buttered chicken, which you can't go wrong. Shrimp and grits. You look at the shrimp and grits for $42. I mean, that's on the low end for a signature restaurant at Disney.
Yeah, for a signature, that's not bad.
Even a surf and turf for $69. That's kind of on the low end too.
For a surf and turf, what's the turf? I mean, the surf part it's not lobster. I wouldn't think.
Scallops.
Okay.
Seared scallops, and it's like a South African spiced beef tenderloin.
Okay, so it's like a fillet with scallops. I mean, that's still pretty good. I was gonna say they're definitely not doing steak and lobster for $69.
No. Yeah, Susie and I were impressed. We weren't sure what to make of it when we went there a couple of years ago, but it's a really good restaurant.
I mean, I heard the service is great.
Service is
I
great.
It's beautiful in there.
Yeah, they've got different stories, like Joe.
There's different rooms too. I think.
Yeah, there's different rooms, and they're all differently themed, and the service will tell you the stories. It's a really, really cool experience.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of places I want to try. I mean, I get my fix at Nomad because that's one of my favorite places anywhere. But
it is. But like that's another place where you could just chill, go to the parks, and then just sit in Nomad for a little while before you have your dining reservation. Because Nomad's a place where we could just spend hours at too.
Oh, absolutely.
With all those small plates, it's scenic, it's gorgeous.
My number one, it's gonna make your little heart feel so good, Pards. It's a place we've been to, and it's a place that does not get talked about. Oh, what's the best steak on property? Nobody says Shula's. They don't even think about it as on property. So for that reason, it's definitely under the radar. Now it's not inexpensive. It's high-end steakhouse. But it's as good of a meal that I've had at Disney World. I don't know if it's the best, but it's as good. I'll put it up there with any of the signatures. I like Yachtsman a lot. People talk about Yachtsman. People talk about Le Cellier. People talk about, California Grill or Narcoossee to get a good steak. But if you want just like the classic steakhouse, like old school steakhouse feel, Shula's is the way to go. I mean, it's a special occasion type of place.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
It's not cheap. Like even the onion soup's like $15. You can get like a piece of bacon for $22 as an appetizer, like we had at.
I'm getting all messed up. Like it's my stomach's gurgling right now. When you said that piece of bacon,
that was so
'cause
good.
that's something you need a steak knife to cut into.
Oh, that was good. That bacon from Peter Luger's.
Oh. And then the tomato and onions. Oh, you're getting me going right
How would
now.
Peter Luger's do at Disney? That place would make a killing, wouldn't it?
Oh
That
God.
old school style place.
You know what you want? Thought the guy was our busboy. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, here are our specials. You guys know what you want? We in
No.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. At least we could get there. The first cab got a flat tire as soon as we mentioned the place to him.
I told Kristen that story. She loves that one.
Why'd you pick us up then? Oh, I have a flat tire. I'm like, I don't know about that.
You're trying to explain to this thing. All right, here it is on my GPS. I got flat tire. We're like, what? Remember I did the inspection? I'm like, everything looks good on my end.
We should have offered to like Jack. Yeah, get out the Jack. We'll change it.
Get the Jack out. That guy didn't want to take us to Brooklyn. That was perfect.
That was great.
I have flat tire. We just start laughing.
Anyway, back to Shula's. Soup and salads. I mean, wedge salad, tomato
Have you ever
burrata.
gotten a wedge salad? Because I've never gotten one at a steakhouse, and I love wedge salads.
Yeah, not at a steakhouse. Like, I don't know if I could. Like, I don't want to fill up on a salad. If I'm at Shula's, I gotta have the onion soup because that was like an out of body experience when I had that onion soup there.
That was so good. And you got the New York strip, if I recollect correctly.
Yeah, I believe I did.
Because that's your pretty much go-to. I'm a ribeye guy. You're
Yeah.
a New York strip.
And again, this is not for the faint of heart or the faint of wallet. $73 for a New York strip with no sides. This is a la carte. I mean, it's just so good.
I still can't believe I paid for that. I'm kind of
Yeah.
pissed off about that.
Yeah, you should be. That was a big mistake.
You guys paid for your flights and
That's
whatever. It was a few $100. It was a good night, though.
It was good.
I mean,
But even
as Mike Schaefer would say, the shrimp cocktail was to die for.
the shrimp was to die for. But if you're not in the mood for a steak, they have a roast half chicken for $40, Maryland style crab cakes $48, miso glazed halibut for $42, grilled half rack of domestic lamb for $52, Atlantic salmon for $41, and the coach's cut prime rib for $58.
Like I said, I always
limited
wondered
availability.
what
You know how good that prime rib has.
you
to
know
be,
how
right?
good that prime rib, because I had it at Cruise Cup
Yeah.
at the yacht club, and they take it over from Yachtsman Steakhouse,
Right.
and it was crazy. Like I've always said, how good is prime rib at a steakhouse? And it's everything you would ever think it would be.
Yeah.
And like when you said that half chicken, I would never get chicken at a
It's gotta be
steakhouse.
so good.
You have to. It's got to be amazing
Yeah.
because they just marinate and inject this thing
Mm-hmm.
and then cook. Oh,
You're getting all messed up right now.
I'm getting messed up. Like when you're getting messed up over chicken at a steakhouse,
You got problems.
you have some serious issues, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then they have that dessert where you have to tell them when you order your food because
Oh,
it
the chocolate souffle or something.
yeah,
like
the
that, right?
souffle. Yes, exactly.
Because it takes a long time.
Takes a long time, and they bring that to the table, and they
Or
put the
that-
fork in it, and then they pour the stuff into it, and it just overflows, and you're like, "This is
We had
dessert.
that.
I don't even like dessert.
No, I know. We had the mac and cheese. Remember eating that stuff left over?
Cold.
How good it was still. The sides were so good.
Yeah, because we ate Schaefer's sides.
Yeah, because he
'Cause
left.
He left on that early flight,
Right.
and we had all that stuff in the refrigerator, and we were just, oh my god, is this good? We had like cream spinach and that
Yes.
mac and cheese.
I'm all messed up
Those
now.
leftovers are so much better the day after too.
Oh yeah, like
Aren't they?
cream spinach and mac and cheese definitely better after it's marinated a
so
little
good.
bit.
What'd
yeah.
you have for a cocktail too?
I think I had like a martini, right?
Yeah, because I had the blueberry martini that Kristen loves, and you guys made fun of me.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think you guys had some manly drinks.
I probably got just like a regular dirty martini.
Yeah, you got a dirty martini. Yep. I think Schaefer got like a beer.
Maybe.
Got like a local beer or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that place was so good.
That was great.
Oh, I'm all messed up now.
Well, that's my most under the radar place. No, like people don't think of it when they're thinking of like a special occasion place when they're at Disney. Doesn't come up for the conversation, and it's probably one of, if not the best, special occasion places at Disney.
I would agree. It's a beautiful restaurant.
It really is.
In a gorgeous resort. Everything about it's just. And then you have like the 2 servers who take care of you that whole night.
That's right. They bring out like the steaks. Remember they had the flashlight asking you if it was like cooked well?
Yeah,
like,
when you cut into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut into it and they had that flashlight. Like I'm not used to this service. I'm just used to like if it's good, it's good. If not, whatever.
Yeah, and then you go to like Manny's Chop House the next year, and it's very different.
It was a different experience, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Manny's on 192. You can
check
find
that out on our YouTube page.
Yeah, you can find that review on our YouTube page.
That's one of our highest viewed videos.
Oh, that place was so bad, wasn't it?
It wasn't that bad.
No, the steaks were good. It was everything else.
Really good. Yes, everything else was.
Those mushrooms were terrible.
Cold onion soup. Mushrooms.
Usually, you have to break the Gruyere, and then let it sit for 45 minutes. But this was like, no. Let me eat it right now.
Yeah,
before it gets colder.
Can you throw this in the microwave for a minute and a half? Yeah. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to add here?
That's a negative.
All right. Well, you know where you can find us on our aforementioned YouTube page, youtube.com/@WDWBTG. All of our socials are at WDWBTG. Our Facebook group is WDW Beyond the Gates Podcast Family. You can download us wherever you get podcasts. Look for WDW Beyond the Gates. WDWBTG.com is the website. Email info@WDWBTG.com, Mike at WDWBTG.com, or Gary at WDWBTG.com. Anything else?
No, bring us on, parts.
All right, that's going to do it for episode number 557 of the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast. For my co-host Mike, my name is Gary. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. M-I-C.
See you real soon.
K-E-Y.
Why? Because we like you.
M-O-U.